Tesla has officially released the new app for iOS. Android hasn't gotten the love quite yet, but we have the new unreleased app for Android, although it does look exactly like iOS minus the widgets and a few other things. But for the most part, it is basically the same thing. So today we are going to show you exactly what has changed for the better and what has changed for the worse with the new app versus the old Tesla app.
So like Eric said, this isn't officially out for Android yet.
Yeah.
We did download the APK. It looks like Tesla tried releasing it yesterday, but there was like a failed deployment or something because I had a notification the app was trying to update and it never did. But we were able to install the APK manually and we're gonna show it to you here today.
So one thing we really like about the app is the animation. So kind of scrolling back and forth, but also just when you like go to the control screen. The beautiful animation like that really does look nice, and it makes it look more like a polished app for one of the world's most valuable car manufacturers should have.
Yeah, it ties in. It looks really like the interface right in your Model 3, Model Y, Model X, Model S.
Yeah, it does look really nice, and we've even noticed on some of it here that if you go to like the climate screen on Model Y, or sorry, this is the Plaid. On the Plaid though, you can actually see the interior well represented. Now on the Model Y, it shows the white interior, but the only difference is this one does show wood. And now we can hear that it just turned on. Whereas the Model Y shows the white interior that it has. However, the 100D shows black, and that's what it's always shown. So it seems like some of the newer cars actually do represent the interior like they truly are. Let us know down below what date your vehicle was made, and if you actually see the correct color interior. Maybe we can try to narrow that down. Maybe it started with the 3s and the Ys and now the Plaid S's and everything, but it is kind of a nice feature.
So definitely cool animations. One thing we don't really like about when switching between cars though, is that on the old version, it just showed you your cars and what other Tesla products you have. On the new version 4.0, it shows you your cars, but also has any pending orders that you haven't received yet. And that just takes you to the website when you click on those. And it's like, I don't need to see that. Or if you do, it would be nice if you could resort those and put those at the end of the list. Because we don't need to see those. If there's nothing we can do with these vehicles yet, there's no reason to show them there.
Exactly.
It just slows us down from getting between the cars that we do own and the Powerwalls that we do own.
Yeah, it would be nice to have maybe a button where you could hide them, or maybe even resort them, because that would be nice. We could kind of sort between the cars we use the most. That would be a nice feature to have. So take our Plaid here, for example. You can see on the new app, we haven't actually done the phone as key on that device quite yet, but it did add a charging right from the main screen instead of an actual charging down below. And the cool thing is clicking it will actually open your charge port. I just heard it open on the car.
Yeah, it even shows it in the little animation. It shows your charge port opening up. Very nice little touch there.
Besides that, you can kind of modulate however you want the charge, and you get little haptic feedback at like all the 90 and 80%, which is kind of nice.
One thing you will notice that's missing is the superchargers are no longer displayed on the charging screen. In order to see those, you have to go to location, and it will basically show you the 4 closest superchargers. Now those aren't going to show up on the version 3 of the app, but version 4 will show you those 4 closest superchargers and how the availability is. You could also click on those superchargers and we'll show you the number of stalls that are available and the total number of stalls.
Also, there's been a lot of things that have moved around, different sort orders. Potentially Tesla had data that different things were used different amounts, so they kind of put them most heavily used in the easiest spot here. But we can see kind of out in security, you have some of the controls from the old app kind of move there for your Sentry mode, your Valley mode, your speed limit mode.
One thing we're going to bring up about the speed limit mode though is it still limits you up to 90 miles max.
Yeah.
And we notice like if you take the Plaid out to a racetrack, it would be really nice if they had an option that you could limit it to say 150 miles per hour so that you don't go over that limit and get kicked off of the racetrack.
Yeah, video coming soon. Otherwise, a lot of this is going to feel very similar. Some things kind of have shifted around a bit though. You still have your service, your roadside, and now it's nice is if you're sharing the vehicle with somebody, the person you are sharing it with will have access to the roadside. And then for upgrades, it's nice because you can actually buy accessories right here in the app. You don't actually need to go to the website any longer. You can just buy things right here. It just ease of use definitely is there.
One other thing we noticed though is if you are in the car and controlling it, they no longer ask you to authenticate yourself, which is quite odd. So in the past, you used to have to either type in your password or use fingerprint or Face ID in order to start the car. Now you can just click start.
And whereas the previous app, you would need to verify your identity with a password or thumbprint or whatever. Whereas now, on the new one, it just starts and there's nowhere to enable fingerprint authentication or anything like that. So that's a little different. So if you do have kids and you let your kids play with your phone, just be careful and be knowing of that, because technically they could start the car with just that and drive it.
And we think this might be intentional that they remove that authentication, because they no longer have that option when you're setting up the controls under settings.
Yep.
There's nothing on this main screen asking you for like fingerprint authentication or anything like that.
Yeah, it's all just gone. But speaking of this main page, you now have a beautiful avatar. Here you can see my mug shot pretty much. And here you do still have your inbox, which is just some stuff from Tesla. You have your loot box if you want to share your referral code, look at your miles, see who your referrals are. And then down below you do have your account, which is got your contact info, your order history, your charging, etc. Whereas you didn't really have a lot of that in the previous app. And then settings, sign out, but yeah, no more do you have a fingerprint authentication or anything like that.
One thing that is nice about this screen when you can see multiple vehicles is it now shows you your state of charge, whether it's miles or percentage, and that's kind of nice to see, because on the old version, it showed you basically your cars and it says whether they were online or offline
and your
or
VIN.
asleep, but it wasn't really that useful because how often do you need your VIN, and most people don't really care whether a car is online or asleep or not, but definitely the state of charge for the battery is useful information.
And one of the biggest features, and probably what we are most excited about, in any Tesla owner who owns multiple Teslas where you can use phone or device as key, you can now not have to shift between the cars. Any car that's on the account, you can actually open and access. But previously, like if I was going from the Y to the Plaid, I would have to slide over from the Y to the Plaid to be able to unlock and drive that. But now any car in that account will be able to do that. And I think that is huge, especially for you multiple Tesla owner households, which a lot of people, if you buy a Tesla, it's not gonna be long after that your spouse wants one too.
Definitely a time saver. One other feature, they've totally changed the way that it looks when you're looking at the gateways or your power walls. And well, originally this was on like 2 different screens. We really liked how it used to be on the old screen because you could get all the information all in one graph. So basically if I was on the old energy usage screen, you could go there and on one graph you could see everything in one place. The new screen, unfortunately, they split it up and you can only see one of these at a time, whether it's household usage, solar, power walls, or the grid. It's on 4 different screens, and you have to get those values, you have to look on 4 different screens, whereas before they're all right there. So I don't really like how that's on 4 screens, but they do have a couple of new graphs. Like there's one there showing your state of charge for the power walls.
Kind of nice.
It's okay. But one other thing we don't really like about this main screen here for power walls or the gateway is that you can no longer see where the power is coming from. If you're receiving solar, and say you're powering your house with both solar and the power walls, you used to be able to see that the power was from the power walls going to the house, and maybe the solar was going to the grid. Now everything on this screen it goes through that center box here. You can't see where it's coming from. You can't see the same information. The old way you could instantly see was solar was going to the house, whether solar was going to the power wall or to the grid, but now everything just goes through the central box, and it's not as much information. It looks slicker, but it doesn't give you the same information you had in the past.
Yeah, and some of the other settings have kind of moved around, and now you even have a go off grid mode. Now to be able to do that, you actually have to pair your phone with the power walls so that it's not like anyone can just go and do that. That's not something you just want done. But that is an option for those of you that want to either test out your system or just go off grid. It is something that you can actually do right here in the app.
Yeah, and it's one thing we actually noticed has shown up now in the older version of the app as well. And older version, it's just under the customized settings, but there's a couple different places where you can see it in the new version 4. It's either right there on the main gateway screen, or if you go to settings, you can see it there as well.
So yeah, in total, super excited for this app. I am very happy to see the more polished look, the new animations, everything just feels much more premium, which we absolutely love. And the phone is key on all the cars, is probably my most favorite feature.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement over the version 3 of the app. Again, the animations are great. A few complaints we have, again, are not being able to get rid of those extra ordered cars or reservations you have. The reservations aren't showing up, but those extra orders are showing up. They're not useful. Put them at the end of the list or let us hide them if we don't need them. Also, the graphs on the gateway or solar usage, it's not that great, not very user-friendly, having to go between 4 different graphs instead of just looking at one. But other than that, the app is great. Definitely seeing some improvement, and I'm sure that this is the version 4.0.0, so the next version should be even better.
Yeah, so hopefully they bring some of that we might be missing back. That would be really greatly appreciated if anyone from Tesla is watching this.
One other thing that would be amazing if they could add would be a date picker for the reports.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you want to look at dates in the past, you have to go day by day by day, and it can take forever to try to find something in your solar history. And if they would have a date picker, you could instantly just be able to choose month, day, year. That would save a lot of time.
But yeah, any of you that have downloaded it so far on iOS or even Android, maybe it is out actually by the time we post this video. Otherwise, hopefully it comes very soon in the App Store. If you have downloaded it though and tested it out, definitely let us know down below what is your most favorite feature. What do you think is missing? What do you think could be improved upon? We can talk about it all down there. As always though, huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you are looking to accessorize your Tesla Model S, X, 3, or Y, definitely check them out. All linked down below, and using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. Our #1 must-have accessory is going to be their all-time best-selling screen protectors. We go with the matte variant. It really helps reduce any glare from the sun as well as any fingerprints thanks to its oleophobic surface. As always though, a thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Go and click here to subscribe here for some other ones, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Hold it up, we gon' burn it down.